Welcome to the Postpartum Coach podcast, where we embrace our needs as moms, we learn to lead ourselves first, then our families, and where we create our own healing from the inside out to find our way to the work we were meant to do in this world. I'm your host, a fellow mom of 3 and a certified life coach, Lizzie Langston. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. All right. So tonight or today or whenever you're hearing this, I want to teach you about a principle that has truly saved me as my brain has wanted to take me into the pit of despair, or as I have just felt terrible and I thought it was a problem. And you know how when you get all worked up and then you have feelings about your feelings and you get worked up about how worked up you are? You know. Postpartum, it just can escalate so quickly. Our minds are running faster than our bodies sometimes. And so today, it is nighttime where I am, so forgive me. But today, I want to just share with you a principle that many of you may have heard, many of you may have not. It's called 50-50, and it's just essentially life is 50-50. Now, if you are a member of my church, the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, or frankly, many religions of all kinds, I'm sure, teach some taste of this, which is that life is 50-50, opposition in all things. I recently hit a milestone in my business. I'm going to share a couple of examples of this to kind of illustrate. So I recently hit a milestone in my business, and it's so funny because your brain, and I want you to think about how your brain does this. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my brain, but I want you to think about how you might be falling for this same fake news in our brain. My brain told me, okay, as soon as I made X amount of dollars, it'll be incredible when I'm there, and we'll be able to buy all these things, and my husband will be happy and I'll be happy, which there's some truth to that. But what's so interesting is how it's never the case. Another example is when your child is out of diapers and potty trained, and you've been like gagging when you're changing their poopy diapers, and you're like, really? Like, I'm so done with you being in these diapers, and they're in no rush to potty train. And you keep telling yourself, oh, once they're done with diapers, I'm going to be like a free woman. I will be so excited and life's going to be so good. And it usually is for a minute. And then you're like, oh, and I have to help him wipe and pull his pants up and help him get into the sink and wash his hands. So it just goes to show with every circumstance, as you move along your way in life, whether it's, again, making money or milestones with your kids or years in your marriage, we have this idea, and our brain sells us on this idea that's so luxurious and chase-worthy, like we just want to chase it. This idea that it will be better once we're, quote, there, wherever the there is for you. If you have a goal for weight loss, if you're pregnant and you're like, as soon as I have that baby, I'm going to feel so much better. There's going to be hard things either way, equally. A really good example of this is I grew up kind of thinking, oh, like really, really rich people must be really, really happy, and really, really poor people aren't. And then I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, representing the Savior Jesus Christ, inviting people to baptism, all that jazz. And I realized, like, oh, there are really wealthy people who aren't super happy, and there's poor people who are. And there's everything in between. There are really wealthy people who are really happy, but it's not like all the time, because it's 50-50. Life's 50-50. There is opposition in all things. And so I just wanted to share that because wherever this episode finds you today, whether you're doing great, you're like, oh, it's a good day. I can't believe how much I got done today. I've just been so nice with the kids. It's awesome. It's such a great day. Whether you're there or you're like in the pit of despair, the armpit of postpartum, and you're just like barely hanging on, and you're a hot mess, and you didn't do your makeup, you haven't showered for 2 days, and you basically don't want to be alive right now, but you're trying. Wherever you are, it's 50-50. So it's always going to even out. And I say that meaning you can help it even out. Our thoughts create our feelings, but just because that's true doesn't mean that the negative feelings don't serve us. So one thing I've learned as I've done coaching is that I've actually learned that we as humans, we actually like the negativity. So it's so funny because we think it's a problem when we're upset, but there is a part of us that needs and wants to be upset sometimes. And if you could just learn that one thing with your kids when they're throwing a fit, I think so many times as parents, we're trying to talk them out of it. It's like they just want to be upset. And the more space you give yourself to be upset and your kids and whoever else, husband, the more space you give, typically what happens is the quicker they're able to get out of it, but not always. The more power you do take back, though. And so I love leaving space for the negative. So think about photography. You need that black and white space, both of them. It's what makes life rich and depth and meaningful. So anyway, I wanted to share that today. And on that note, lately in our world, we've been seeing a lot of the negative. We know that there's really beautiful things about our time in existence. There's so many resources to educate yourself. You can create money online super easily. You can more affordably than ever maybe own a home with the banks and the mortgages and the affluence in this country. There's so much opportunity. There's so much money to be had. There's so much goodness. There's so many people serving, so many nonprofits. And then there's the bad. There are the wolves in sheep's clothing. There are leaders who we look to who deceive or misrepresent truth, or not even just leaders, news stations. There's confusion, there's violence. And so there is this 50-50 represented in the world in front of us, the outer world that we are walking through as participants and as spectators. And I've noticed that for me spiritually, that just begs a lot of questions. I find myself asking things like, why does God allow this? And where is God in all of this? And if you tend to kind of find yourself there, maybe not, right? Like so many of us, so many of you guys I know are so strong in faith and stuff. But no, regardless of your belief system or your religion, if you've been finding yourself conflicted and just grasping for truth and for solid ground and for good influences from good people that you can trust, I want to invite you to the annual general conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So what it is it's just a semi-annual twice a year thing. So every 6 months, and it's for a weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, but literally, like, regardless of your religion, these messages are so good. Like, goodness is there. Even if you belong and love another church, I don't care. Like, let's share the good. Let's share the truth. We all need it. Goodness is there. And I feel it. And because I feel it, I want to share it with you just out of authenticity here. Just like, because I feel like we're friends and so many of you know me and I know you, or maybe I don't even know you and you just feel like we're friends. Don't worry, we are. It's fine. We're tight. I have lots of podcasters that are my friends and they don't know me. So it's all good. It goes both ways. But yeah, so it is the most beautiful conference. Men and women speak, and occasionally there's a young person or two. It kind of, the way it starts is there's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, which now because of COVID, they're going to be playing replays of past performances. Usually they're live in the actual huge tabernacle with like the massive organ pipes, which are like a fun spectacle. But anyway, so there's lovely music, and then there are speakers, and there's the prophet, which is the leader, the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he will speak a couple times at least once each conference as well. So anyway, for more information, I don't want to bore any of those of you who aren't interested, and I don't want to bog it down with details. I really just want you to capture the spirit of this invitation, which is, I have felt uplifted through it. I've watched every conference for, twice a year since I can remember. And I always come away feeling closer to God and feeling like he's answered my questions. I do want to encourage you, if you do watch it, take your questions to him. I believe in modern revelation. I believe that why would God stop speaking to us when we need him so much? So I believe that he speaks to us even today, and he can carry a message into your heart. Don't limit him. He is limitless and he can reach you. So whatever your hardship is and your questions are, I want to invite you to my church's semi-annual general conference. You can find all like the link to view it on YouTube in my show notes in this episode. But I noticed it's just youtube.com/user/Mormon messages. And then that's actually the name, but the actual page is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on YouTube. But again, you seriously could just Google it. If you wanted to know more about the church or the conference before taking a dive in and investing some time kind of hanging out there with us, feel free. It's just churchofjesuschrist.org. Pretty simple. Anyway, I sure love you guys. I think of you often, and I haven't felt awesome today. Like I've had a lot of negative feelings, and I just was sitting there. What I used to do is I used to go watch a movie or blast a song loud, and I still do those sometimes by choice. But tonight I just wanted to honor my humanness and just sit in the feelings and just feel them. Not even pick up a pen and paper and like try to figure out what's causing them so I can make them go away or maybe change them. Like just feel them. And it was the most beautiful, peaceful feeling. And one of my beliefs is that is part of the purpose of receiving a physical body is learning how to have dominion over it. And part of that is like a king or queen would just allow subjects in their court. Like my emotions are just subjects in my court. And I am the queen, right, of my body, and there's no rush or no need to run away or dismiss feelings or get rid of them, throw them out. I am willing to hear all of it. Just like as a queen in my throne, I'd be willing to hear all the subjects. I want to know what my people say, right? Like feelings are part of me, just like subjects are part of a queen's kingdom. Feelings are part of me. And so I love to connect with that intimate self moment, that humanness of just letting them be there. If you are feeling lots of feelings lately that you don't feel in control of, and if you have a desire to not be constantly feeling like you're running away from your own mind and body, like it's not all out of your control, I want to invite you to come work with me. I offer free 60-minute consults, LizzieLangston.com/consult, and I can take care of you there. We'll talk to you soon, and maybe we'll be watching conference together. It would be so fun to have you a part of my tradition. And truly what it's really about is you and God and you feeling him and you feeling uplifted at this time. I'm excited for that. I'm thirsty for it. My soul thirsteth, y'all. I'm really pumped for this conference. So it starts on Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. The second session's at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then again on Sunday, it's 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. with a special women's conference, women only, televised. All of this is on the YouTube channel, live streamed and then recorded for later watching. But yeah, Sunday night or maybe it's Saturday night, I don't know. There is a women's conference. So again, the link to the YouTube channel and then also just a general link with more information I'm going to post in the show notes. So go there if you're interested. All right, love you guys. Hey, Lizzie here. I've helped dozens of postpartum moms just like you to manage their postpartum anxiety and deconstruct their postpartum depression. It's really easy for me. So if you're ready to feel better, I know the way. Let's chat on the phone. Set up a time by going to LizzieLangston.com/consult. It's pretty simple, and I will be calling you soon.